It's the game. It's the game of the week, and this week we're at Memorial Stadium in Baltimore. See the American League champion New York Yankees take on the Baltimore Orioles. Baltimore's gotten off to the best start that I've ever seen a baseball team. They won their first 18 games. Going into last night's game, they were 18-0. Last night, the Yankees came to town, and they were leading Baltimore 10-5 going into the bottom of the ninth. Baltimore scored 5 runs in the bottom of the ninth to tie the game, send it into extra innings. But then the Yankees erupted for 4 runs in the 11th to take the game 14-10, which gave Baltimore their first loss of the year. It's Baltimore's 18-1. In fact, last night their big rally was capped by a 3-run home run by Frank Robinson. And then in their 11th inning, Yankees had RBIs in the 11th inning from Jimmy Hall. And Roy White had the big hit in that inning. And the Orioles didn't give up. They rallied in the 11th. They had a hit and 2 walks. So Baltimore is now 18-1. When I think of hot starts, the hottest start I ever saw takes me back to 1949. And it wasn't in Major League Baseball. It was in the first year of the NBA. The Rochester Royals started off the season 7-1. Then they got beat by the St. Louis Bombers. Or they started out 7-0. They got beat by the St. Louis Bombers. They were 7-1. The next time they lost a game, they were 38-1, and they were 38-2. So they had a 31-game winning streak. The Royals that year ended up 63-5. They lost the first game of the postseason, and then went through, didn't lose another game. They won 8 in a row and beat the Syracuse Nationals for the NBA, the first NBA title. Chester was 63-5 during the season. They didn't lose a single home game. The next year they went 50-18. They had three more winning seasons after that. Then they, excuse me, they suddenly got old fast. And by 1957, they were no longer playing in Rochester. I guess that's enough history down memory lane with the NBA. Here in, excuse me, here at Baltimore, it'll be Mike Cuellar versus Mel Stottlemyre. For New York, Horace Clarke, the second baseman, will lead off. Batting second is left fielder Roy White. Batting third will be the right fielder Bobby Murcer. Batting fourth, catcher Frank Fernandez. Batting fifth, the shortstop Tom Tresh. Batting sixth will be the first baseman Joe Pepitone. Batting seventh be the third baseman, a rookie Jerry Kenny, who's off to a hot start this year. Batting eighth will be the center fielder Bill Robinson. Batting ninth will be Mel Stottlemyre, the pitcher. On defense, Baltimore will have Boog Powell at first, Davey Johnson at second, Mark Belanger playing short, Brooks Robinson at third, Don Buford at left, rookie Merv Rettenman in center. He's replacing Paul Blair, who was injured last night. In right field is Frank Robinson, off to a great start. Catching will be Elrod Hendricks. And pitching be Mike Cuellar. Cuellar's made 4 starts on the year. He's 4-0 with an ERA of 1.55. This is his first start against New York. Stottlemyre will be starting for the Yankees. He's made 4 starts. He's 0-3 with an ERA of 8.19. Like I said, Jerry Kenny, the rookie, is off to a hot start. He has a 15-game hitting streak right now. Mark Belanger has a 19-game hitting streak. It's a chilly day in Baltimore. It's 62 degrees. The wind is 7 miles an hour. It's coming in from right field, and it's raining here. So here we go. It's time to play ball. Leading off for New York is Horace Clarke. He's batting .311, 1 home run, 11 runs batted in. Here's the 3-0 pitch. It's a changeup, ball 4. And Cuellar walks the first batter of the game. Batting second is Roy White, the left fielder. He's hitting .387. 2 home runs, 9 runs batted in. He's a player every year. He's in danger of losing his job at spring training. But he always works his way into the lineup. He fouled that one back. Strike 1. Just fastball, high, ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. White lines a base hit into left field. Buford throws that in. Roy White now has an 8-game hitting streak. Batting third will be Bobby Murcer. He's hitting .293, 2 home runs, 14 runs batted in. Inside, ball one. It's a grounder to second. Johnson up with it to Belanger for one. No through. Johnson made a nice diving play on that. Have one out, runners on first and third. Here's Frank Fernandez, the catcher. He's hitting .212, 2 home runs, 7 runs batted in. It's a grounder to short. Belanger up with it. To second for one. To first, not in time. Fernandez takes first on the fielder's choice, and Clark scores. The Yankees take a 1-0 lead. Here's Tom Tresh, the shortstop. He's hitting .071. No home runs, no runs batted in. Tresh started off his career in great style. He was both the MVP and the Rookie of the Year in 1962. That year he hit .305, had 41 home runs, drove in 126 runs. He has never approached that home run title since. His highest home run total since then has been 23 home runs. He was also the World Series MVP in 1964. Mike Tresh played for the Phillies back in the 30s. Here's the first pitch. Tresh grounds a base hit into left field. Buford up with it. Fernandez goes to third. And the Yankees, 2 outs, they have runners at the corners again. And coming up is Joe Pepitone. He's hitting .278, 2 home runs, 14 runs batted in. It's outside, ball one. Swing and a miss, strike one. 1 ball, 1 strike. Pepitone hits a fly ball to center field. Rettenmund's under it, and he's got it. 3 outs. New York gets 1 run, 2 hits, no errors. They leave 2. So at the bottom of the first, it's New York 1, Baltimore coming to bat. Starting lineup. Leading off will be Don Buford, the left fielder. Batting second is the shortstop, Mark Belanger. Batting third will be first baseman, Boog Powell. Batting fourth will be the right fielder, Frank Robinson. Batting fifth will be the catcher, Elrod Hendricks. Batting sixth will be the second baseman, Dave Johnson. Batting seventh will be the rookie, center fielder, Merv Rettenmund. Batting eighth is Brooks Robinson, the third baseman. Pitching is Mike Cuellar. New York on defense has Joe Pepitone at first, Horace Clarke at second, Tom Tresh at short, Jerry Kenny at third, Roy White in left, Bill Robinson at center, Bobby Mercer in right, Frank Fernandez catching, and pitching is Mel Stottlemyre. Foreshadowing, I see one future Cleveland Indian on the field for New York. Mel Stottlemyre's off to a rough start this year. This is his 4th appearance. He's 0-3 with an 8.19 ERA. He's pitched 29 2/3 innings. He's given up 37 hits, given up 7 home runs. He's walked 12, struck out 7, so he's been having some serious control issues in the month of April. Leading off for Baltimore will be Don Buford. He's hitting .377, 1 home run, 7 runs batted in. Here's a 1-0 pitch. It's a little grounder on the infield. Pepitone's up with it. Underhands it to Stottlemyre. 1 out. Batting second is Mark Belanger. He's generally falls under the good field, no hit. But he's starting out hitting .367. He has 18 runs batted in, and he's riding a 19-game hitting streak. He's gotten a hit in every game Baltimore's played this year. The 0-2 pitch. It's a grounder to third. Kenny's up with it. It's Pepitone at first. 2 outs. Here's Boog Powell. He's hitting .329, 5 home runs, 26 runs batted in. Powell's had a rough last 2 years. He was injured and rode the bench for parts of the season in '67 when he hit .201. And he went from 44 home runs in '66 to 5 home runs in '67. Last year he hit .238 with 25 home runs. Three balls, 1 strike. He hits a base hit to right field. Mercer's up with it. Powell's on first. Toss it. Here's Frank Robinson. Frank Robinson has been, he's a 2-time MVP, 1965 and 1966. 1965, he was the MVP for the Reds. They rewarded him by saying he was an old 30, traded him to Baltimore. And his first year in Baltimore, 1966, he became the MVP. Led Baltimore to the World Series. He also appeared in 2 World Series with Cincinnati in 1957 and 1962. Frank Robinson was the Rookie of the Year in 1956. And he was the MVP of last year's All-Star game. Do a little bit of foreshadowing here, and looking at the Baltimore starting lineup, I can see 3 future Cleveland Indians. First pitch, it's a grounder to third. Kenny's up with it. To Clark at second. He gets Powell, and that's 3 outs. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left for Baltimore. We played 1. New York 1, Baltimore nothing. For New York in the second, it'll be Kenny, Bill Robinson, and Mel Stottlemyre. Kenny has a 15-game hitting streak. And New York's 6-9. He's gotten a hit in every game that the Yankees have played so far this year. Going into the last weekend of last year's season, there were 5 teams that had a mathematical chance of winning the pennant. On the last day of the season, 2 days later, there were three teams that had a mathematical chance. The Tigers, the Red Sox, the Yankees. The Yankees were probably the weakest of the three teams, but they were able to slide in and win the pennant on the last day of the year. But they're off to a bit of a slow start this year. Here's Jerry Kenney. Here's the 2-2 pitch. It's a liner in the center, base hit. He has his hitting streak continued. And he's on at first. Nobody out. And Bill Robinson is up. Kenny's stolen 4 bases on the year. He's pretty quick on the base path. Calls that one back. Strike one. It's the 0-1 pitch. Inside. Ball one. 1 ball, 1 strike. It's a 1-1 pitch. It's a grounder to first. Powell up with it. He'll take it to first himself. 1 out. He had no chance getting Jerry Kenney. Kenny's on second. One out. Mel Stottlemyre's up. Stottlemyre is 1 for 11 on the season. Brooks Robinson will play him in. Swing and a miss. Strike one. There's a curveball. Swing and a miss. Strike two. Robinson moves back. It's the 0-2 pitch. Fouls it back. Count remains 0-2. Strike 3 called. That's Cuellar's first strikeout of the game. 2 outs. Jerry Kenney on second. Horace Clarke, he walked in the first. Fouls it back. Strike 1. Here's a screwball. Grounds it between third and short. Brooks Robinson up with it to first. 3 out. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left. The middle of the second. New York 1, Baltimore nothing. Bottom of the second, Baltimore will have Elrod Hendricks, Dave Johnson, and Merv Redmond. Hendricks, the catcher, he's hitting .209, 2 home runs, 6 runs batted in. It's a grounder, pitcher. Stottlemyre up with it. First, 1 out. Dave Johnson. He's hitting .320, 3 home runs, 23 runs batted in. The 1-0 pitch. It's a grounder to third. Kenny dives from his knees to first. 2 out. He got it. What a nice play by Jerry Kenney. He's impressing a lot of people here in his rookie year. Here's Merv Redmond. It's the 1-2 pitch. Base hit to left field. Redmond now, as a rookie, he's 2 for 4 on the season, so he's hitting .500. Here's Brooks Robinson, a third baseman. After making a nice play in the second against Horace Clarke, Brooks is hitting .283, 3 home runs, 11 runs batted in. Redmond's off with the pitch. It's a ball. Fernandez throws it on a second. Wasn't even close. Merv Redmond gets his first stolen base of the season. That'll be strike 1. Neshek. That's Bretman's first stolen base in his major league career. Last year, he appeared in 18 games, 20 at bats. So he had a cup of coffee, mainly as a pinch hitter. Runner on second, 2 outs. There's a 1-1 pitch to Brooks Robinson. Strike 2 called. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Outside, ball 2. 2-2, Redmond on second. 2 outs. Inside, ball 3. Full count, 2 outs, Redmond on second. He'll be going with the pitch. There's a fastball, he pops it up. Third base side, Kenny's after it, but it makes the seats. Count remains full. 2 outs, runner on second. Changeup, he fouls it back. We're at the bottom of the second. New York leads 1-0. Full count. Merv Redmond on second. He's fast. Robinson hits a fly ball to left field. Roy White's under it. 3 outs. That'll retire the side. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left. We played 2. New York leads 1-0. In the third inning, New York's 1 run, 3 hits, no errors. They've left 3. Baltimore, no runs, 2 hits, no errors, 2 left. For New York, it'll be Roy White, Bobby Mercer, and Frank Fernandez. Roy White singled in the first. Full count. Ball 4, Roy Whitemar walks. Well, it could be a threat to steal. Bobby Mercer, still getting used to this new game. He's 0 for 1. He grounded his second in the first. Strike 1. No balls, 1 strike. Nobody out. Roy White's on first. Here's the 0-1 pitch. It's a screwball. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. It's the 0-2 pitch. Outside. Ball 1. 2 pitch. Hits a liner to left center. Frank Robinson is over. He has it. He got to that ball pretty quick. So Roy White had a hold at second. The Orioles have the best infield defense probably in the majors. Their outfield defense is fairly average, except for Paul Blair, but he's injured. He's probably going to miss a week, maybe 2 weeks. Frank Fernandez, he's 0 for 1. Here's a screwball, strike 1. The 1-0 pitch is curveball, outside, ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Another curveball. Fernandez hits a fly ball to the left. Buford's there. He has it. That's the first out. Runner's hold. Tom Tresh, he's 1 for 1 today with a single. That almost doubled his batting average. It's a liner down the left field lines. Strike 1. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That's a screwball. It's a grounder to Johnson. Johnson dives. Flips it to Belanger. To Powell. Double play. That's his second outstanding play that he's made today. No runs, one hit, no errors. Two left. We go to the bottom of the third. New York leads 1-0. In the third for Baltimore, it will be Cuellar, Buford, and Belanger. Here's Cuellar. He's 2 for 9 on the year. No home runs, no runs batted in. He has scored 1 run. He's grounded into 1 double play. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Inside, strike 3. Stottlemyre hit the inside corner. That was a bit of a delayed call. That's his first strikeout of the game. Stan Buford, he's 0 for 1 today. He grounded to first on his last time up. The 1-2 pitch, he grounds to third. Kenny's up with it. Throws it first. 2 outs. Belanger. He's 0 for 1 today. He's riding a 19-game hitting streak. He's gotten a hit in every Orioles game this year so far. It's a hard grounder. Stottlemyre up with it to Pepitone. 3 outs. It's a quick inning for Stottlemyre. 3 up, 3 down, nothing across. Played 3. New York leads 3-0. In the fourth inning, it'll be Joe Pepitone, Jerry Kenny, and Bill Robinson. Got 3 Robinsons playing today. And each one of them is a good ball player. 2 of them are probably likely future Hall of Famers. They both came up at about the same time. Frank in the National League with Cincinnati, and Brooks has played his entire career in Baltimore. Here's Pepitone. He's 0 for 1. It's fly ball down the left field line. That's foul. Out of play. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Pepitone lines one into right field. That's a base hit. No outs. Runner on first. Here's Jerry Kenny. Kenny is a fly ball to center. Bretman's under it. 1 out. Bill Robinson. He's 0 for 1 today. He's a little bit younger. He played in 1 game in 1966 for the Braves. Came over to the Yankees for the 67 season. And he's been a regular since then. He's in his 3rd full season. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Inside, ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. It's a changeup. It's a ground ball up the middle. Belanger with it. Steps on second. Pepitone took Belanger out, though. No chance for a double play. Robinson's on first. Fielder's choice. Here's Mel Stottlemyre. He's hitting 1. He's 1 for 12 on the year. Let's see. Stottlemyre batting. He has a career 120 batting average, so he hits like a pitcher. He's been with the Yankees since the 1964 season. Helped lead them to a pennant. In fact, Baltimore in 1964 got off to a pretty hot start. Not as hot as their start this year. And they were leading the American League at a pretty good rate going into September. It looked like they might just roll to the pennant pretty easily. But then they started playing a little bit over 500 ball. The Yankees got hot. And they slid past Baltimore and won the pennant by a single game. That's why guys who were with the Orioles back then, guys like Brooks Robinson, Boog Powell, aren't sitting on their laurels with a hot start like this. So let's see, Baltimore. Yeah, they've they've when Hank Bauer came over. Let's see, Baltimore. The Browns moved to Baltimore in '54. On their wheels for about 5 years, and then they suddenly got pretty good in 1959. They became a first division club. They said 64, they finished 96 and 66, one game out. They backslid in 55. But they won 98 games in 66. 96 games last year. '66 and '67, they went to the World Series, losing in '66. Then they won in '67. They beat the Dodgers. Then they were Yeah, they're spinning their wheels a little bit last year. They finished below 500. Hank Bauer left. Depending on the reports, he was either forced out or quit. And Earl Weaver, who was regarded by some as the best minor league manager, people say that about him or Tom Lasorda with the Dodgers. Came in and took over. Hank Bauer is back managing now. He back with Oakland or with the A's. I think this is his third go around with the A's. It's hard to tell with they've been on like a manager merry-go-round since Charlie Finley became the owner. And now back to the game. Called strike one. Stottlemyre hits a base hit into center field. Bretman's up with it. Brooks Robinson goes to third. Well, it's runners at the corners. Mike Cuellar, he came over in the offseason from the Houston Astros. Good pitcher there, but Boy, he's happy to be in Baltimore because being a good pitcher in Houston was kind of thankless. Here's Horace Clarke. He's 0 for 1 on the game. It's a screwball. Swing and a miss. Strike one. The 0 pitch. He fouls that one back. 0 2. Here's the 0 2 pitch. It's a high chopper to third. Brooks Robinson's up with it to first. That's 3 outs. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, 2 left. Go to the bottom of the fourth. And the Yankees lead Baltimore 1-0. For Baltimore, it'll be Boog Powell, Frank Robinson, and Elrod Hendricks. Powell's 1 for 1. It's a curveball. Hits the grounder to Pepitone. He flips it to Stottlemyre, covering first. 1 out. Here's Frank Robinson. 0 for 1 today. 3-1 pitch. Ball 4. Robinson takes first. Here's Elrod Hendricks. Baltimore catching for Baltimore today. Earl Weaver used a platoon system with his catchers. Hendricks plays against right-hand pitching, and Andy Etchebarren goes up against left-handers. Hendricks is 0 for 1. Here's the first pitch. It's a changeup. Ball 1. Inside, ball 2. So that's a 2-0 pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 1. Ball 3. Inside. 3 balls, 1 strike, 1 out. Frank Robinson on first. It's a grounder to pitcher. Stottlemyre up with it. Throws a second for 1 out. Hendricks takes second on the double play. Two outs, run around first. Here's Dave Johnson. He's 0 for 1. Catches the outside corner, strike 1. It's a liner down the third base line. That's foul. Strike 2. No balls, 2 strikes. 2 outs. Elrod Hendricks on second. It's a grounder up the middle. Clarke is up with it. Backhands it, throws the first. 3 outs. No runs, no hits, no errors. 1 left. Played 4 at Baltimore. New York leads 1-0. In the 5th inning for New York will be Roy White, Bobby Mercer, and Frank Fernandez. Roy White's 0 for 1. He's singled and a walk. His .397 batting average leads the American League. He grounds at the first. Powell flips at the Cuellar, covering first, 1 out. Bobby Mercer, he's 1 for 2. Ground out in the first, singled in the third. They're playing Mercer to pull. It's ground ball to first. Powell takes it to first himself, 2 outs. For a big man, Powell moves pretty good out in the field. The catcher, Frank Fernandez, he's 0 for 2 today. It's the 0-2 pitch. It's a ground ball up into left field. Base hit. Buford throws it in. Yeah, the Yankees have gotten a hit in every inning so far. Fresh, he's 1 for 2. Sitting 125 so far, 2 for 16 on the young season. Here's the first pitch, right down the middle, strike 1. Strike 2 called. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Frank Fernandez on first. Ball 1, just low. Liner down down the left field line. Count remains 1 ball, 2 strikes. Fresh had started out his career 5 good to excellent years, except 63 he was injured for part of the year in his sophomore season. But he began to decline in 1967. There's no reports of any injuries, except for his season when he was hurt in 63. He's been a regular player since 62. It's really been kind of undetermined why his batting trailed off so sharply. Strike 3 called. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left. Go to the bottom of the 5th. New York leads 1-0. Merv Rettenman. He's 1 for 1 today. He singled in the second. Stole a base. He is the only member of the Orioles to get in a scoring position so far today. 1-1 pitch. Lines it down the third base line. Foul ball. One-two pitch. Hits the grounder to third. Kenny's up with it. Throws first. One rookie throws out another rookie. It's Brooks Robinson. He's 0 for 1 today. You can tell the Orioles lineup has to be stacked if Brooks Robinson is batting 8th. Brooks is regarded as the best feeling third baseman probably since World War II. This series of seasons that I'm running right now started in 1940. And he's probably the best fielding third baseman. Since then, Brooks has been a regular since 1958. And he's not too bad with the bat either. Right now, he is 32 years old. His career goes back to cups of coffee in 55, 56, and 57. And he's a career 295 hitter. And he has 202 home runs. In fact, this first home run he hit this season was his 200th career home run. That was against Boston on April 16th when the Orioles won 16-4. Today is April 25th. Brooks is 0 for 1, 2-2 pitch. It's fly ball center. Bill Robinson has it. puts it away. 2 outs. One Robinson flies out to another Robinson. It's Mike Cuellar. He's 2 for 10 on the year, hitting 200. One pitch. Hits a grounder to short. Tresh up with it. The first. 3 outs. Nothing across for ball. Played 5. New York leads 1-0. Going into the 6th, New York has 1 run, 7 hits, no errors. They've left 7. Baltimore, no runs, 2 hits, no errors. They've left 3. This has been Mel Stottlemyre's best appearance on the season. He's been hit hard twice by Washington, once by Detroit, once by Boston. Washington, they're in last place, but Ted Williams has some of their bats waking up. For the Yankees in the 6th, it'll be Joe Pepitone, Jerry Kenny, and Bill Robinson. Pepitone is 1 for 2. He singled in the 4th. He, along with Jerry Kenny, have the only 2 Yankee hits so far. Or no. Sorry, I had that completely wrong. Pepitone grounds to third. Robinson's up with it. The first, 1 out. I apologize for my gaffe. It's Jerry Kenny. He's 1 for 2. Has a 16-game hitting streak. He's gotten a hit in every game the Yankees have played so far this year. He got into 14 games last year. He had 15 at bats. Pinch hitter, hit 267. Yankees are pretty high on young guys like Jerry Kenny, Horace Clarke. Bobby Mercer's back. He missed the 67 and 68 season because of military duty. This is his first year as a regular. So going into 69 and 1970, the Yankees might make some noise again. Since Ralph Houck came over, he led the Yankees to pennants his first 2 years as manager, 61 and 62. They won a pennant again in 64 when Yogi Berra was manager. Then Johnny Keane came over, and the Yankees declined from first place to 8th place. They were a second division team for the next 2 years. Then they contended last year, slipped into the pennant. Going back to 1940, 13 pennants, 5 World Series championships. That is not too bad. Looking at the Yankee past, Jerry Kenney, he may represent the Yankee future. It's a liner to short. Belanger's there. 2 outs. Here's Bill Robinson. Another young player that the Yankees are high on. It's a grounder to short. Belanger up with it. The first. 3 outs. Nothing across in the 6th. Going into the bottom of the 6th. Yankees lead 1-0. For Baltimore, it'll be Buford, Belanger, and Powell. Stottlemyre and Cuellar each pitching an excellent game today. Buford's 0 for 2. The 0-2 pitch. It's soft grounder to short. Tresh charges. Has it to first. 1 out. Mark Belanger 0 for 2 today. Grounded to third. Grounded to the pitcher. Belanger has a 19-game hitting streak. He's hit in every game so far this season. Just like Jerry Kenney has for the Yankees. Jerry Kenney continued that with a hit today. Belanger's looking for a hit to move his hitting streak to 20 games. It's a liner to short. Tresh up with it. 1 out. 2 outs. Boog Powell, he's 1 for 2 today. Boog sitting 333, 5 home runs. He has 26 runs batted in. That's second in the majors for RBIs. No balls, 2 strikes. Hits grounder to first. Pepitone tosses it to Stottlemyre. 3 outs. Nothing across for Baltimore in the 6th. After 6, New York 1, Baltimore nothing. For New York in the 7th, it'll be Stottlemyre, Clark, and White. Stottlemyre is 1 for 2. The 1-2 pitch. Stottlemyre blinds one in the right field, base hits. Stottlemyre's 2 for 3 today. Horace Clark, he's 0 for 2. Grounded to third in the 4th inning. Strike 1 at the knees. Roy White's on deck. It's the 0-1 pitch. Ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Runner on first. Up and inside. Ball 2. 2 balls, 1 strike. Catches the inside corner. Strike 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Cuellar is working Clark inside. Low, ball 3. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Nobody out. Stottlemyre on first. Clark gets a fly ball to center. Rettenman is under it. Puts it away. 1 out. It's Roy White. He's 1 for 2. Sitting 391. He leads the leading the major leagues in batting average right now. The rain is coming down, and we are going to a rain delay. All right, and we're back. Rain delay lasted almost an hour. Cuellar is throwing some warm-up pitches. Looks like he's not throwing the ball as hard as he was at the beginning of the game. Orioles have Jim Harden warming up in the bullpen. Strike one called. No balls, one strike. One out. Swing and a miss, strike two. Inside, ball one. Now outside, ball two. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Stottlemyre in first. Down and in. Ball 3. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Ball 4. Third walk of the game by Cuellar. Here's Bobby Mercer. Mercer's 1 for 3 today. He singled in the third. 1 out. Runners on first and second. Catch the corner. Strike one. Outside. Ball one. 1 ball, 1 strike. Outside again. Ball 2. 2 balls, 1 strike. Ball 3 that just barely missed the corner. 3 balls, 1 strike. Mercer hits a fly ball to left. Buford's under it. Runners remain at first and second. Frank Fernandez is up. And here comes Earl Weaver. I think he's seen it. Thinks it's time to pull Cuellar in. His arm might have tightened up a little bit during the rain delay. Coming in to pitch will be Jim Harden. Jim Harden makes his 4th appearance of the year. He's a record of 2 wins, no losses, ERA of 3.18. He's pitched 17 innings. He's given up 14 hits, 1 home run, walked 15, struck out 7. Like Stottlemyre, looks like he's having some control issues. He was the MVP of the World Series in 1967. Beat Pittsburgh. He's had 2 starts, it looks like, and he was a winning pitcher in relief against Cleveland. Here's Fernandez, 1 for 3. Grounded in a fielder's choice in the first, driving in the only run of the game so far, and he singled in the 5th. Outside, ball 1. Fernandez fouls it back. Strike one. One ball, one strike. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Outside, ball two. Two balls, one strike, two outs. Fouls it back. Take a look. Baltimore starters have been excellent, well, except for Tom Phoebus, who's off to a rough start. Their bullpen looks like it's been pretty good as well. Guy, ball three, full count, two outs, runners on first and second. Strike three called. Gets out of a jam. No runs, one hit, no errors, two left. Go to the middle of the seventh. New York 1, Baltimore nothing. In the seventh inning, Baltimore will have Frank Robinson, Elrod Hendricks, and Dave Johnson. Frank Robinson's 0 for 1. He grounded to third and walked. But this is the kind of situation that Orioles fans love to see him come up to the plate. Because Frank Robinson is a money player. The grounder is short. Tresh up with it, over to first, one out. As a kid in Cleveland in the 70s, I used to love seeing Frank Robinson play down at Cleveland Stadium. Here's Elrod Hendricks. He's 0 for 2 today. 0-2 pitch. It's a fly ball to right. Mercer's there, and he's got it. Two outs. It's Dave Johnson. He's 0 for 2 on the day. Grounded to second to fourth. It's a hard grounder to short. Tresh there. To Pepitone. 3 outs. Nothing across in the seventh. We played 7. 1-0 New York. Jim Harden. Going up against Tom Tresh. In the 8th inning for the Yankees, it'll be Tresh, Pepitone, and Kenny. Tresh is 1 for 3 today. It's fly ball to center. Bretman is there. He bobbles it. Oh, he dropped it. That's his first error of the year. And Tresh makes it to second. Tresh is second on the error. Joe Pepitone is up, and they're going to intentionally walk Pepitone. Runners on first and second, nobody out, setting up the force play. Here's Jerry Kenny. He's 1 for 3 today. Kenny has a 16-game hitting streak. He has hit in every game the Yankees have played so far this year. Ball 1. Kenny, it's a fly ball to center. Redmond is there. 1 out. It's Bill Robinson. He's 0 for 3 today. Changeup, ball 1. 1-0 pitch, outside, ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes. Outside corner, oh, strike 1. They were a little late calling on that one. Ralph Hawkins, some of the Yankees are barking from the dugout on that. Strike two called. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Bill Robinson. 1 out. Ball 3. Full count. 1 out. Runners on first and second. Strike 3. Swing and a miss. Mel Stottlemyre. He's 2 for 3. Thought they might call him back for a pinch hitter, but he's going to be pitching in the 8th. Ball 1 outside. It catches the corner. Strike 1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. Runners on first and second. Stottlemyre hits a little grounder to second. Johnson up with it to first. 3 outs. No runs, no hits, 1 error, 2 left. Go to the bottom of the 8th. New York leads 1-0. New York has 1 run on 8 hits, no errors. They've left 11 men on base. Baltimore has no runs, 2 hits, 1 error. They've left 3 on base. It was a heck of a pitcher's duel between Stottlemyre and Cuellar until the rain delay. Cuellar left the game shortly after the game resumed. Here's Rettenman. He's 1 for 2 today. Ground out to third and fifth. 0-1 pitch. Grounder to Kenny. Over to first, 1 out. Here's Brooks Robinson. He's 0 for 2 today. Hits one down to third base line. Foul. 2 balls, 2 strikes. There's a 2-2 pitch. It's a curveball. It's fly ball to third. Bill Robinson's there. 2 outs. Baltimore will be sending up a pinch hitter. So it'll be Clay Dalrymple. Dalrymple's been around since 1960 with the Phillies. Came over to Baltimore in the offseason. Dalrymple will be remembered in 1961. Cardinals were shooting for the pennant. They were in a 3-team race between them, the Reds, and the Braves. On the last day of the season, when it looked like there might be a 3-way finish for first place, Dalrymple got a hit in extra innings against the Cardinals, beat the Cardinals, knocked them out of the race on the last day of the year. Cincinnati and Milwaukee finished the season tied and had a 3-game playoff that Milwaukee won. Cincinnati won the first game. Milwaukee won the next 2. But public sentiment was pulling for St. Louis to win the pennant that year because Stan Musial was in the twilight of his career. Yeah, Dalrymple they would probably be happy if he never showed his face again in St. Louis. But enough with the nostalgic talk. This is his. He's 0 for 4 with Baltimore. It's a grounder to short. Tresh dives up with it from his knees. He gets him. Nothing across for Baltimore. We go to the ninth. Coming in a pitch for Baltimore will be Eddie Watt. Making his 8th appearance of the season. He was the losing pitcher in last night's game. He's 1-1. He has a 1.80 ERA. Pitched 10 innings, given up 8 hits. He's walked 1. He struck out 6. For the Yankees in the ninth will be Horace Clarke, Roy White, Bobby Mercer. I got so wrapped up in Clay Dalrymple's story, I forgot to warm up Eddie Watt. I hate when I do that. Horace Clarke, it's fly ball to right. Robinson's under a 1 out. For the Yankees in the ninth, as you saw, it was Horace Clarke, Roy White, and Bobby Mercer. Roy White is 1 for 2 today. 2-0 pitch, it's fastball. Grounds it right to the pitcher. Eddie Watt's up with it, the first. 1 out, or 2 outs. Bobby Mercer's 1 for 4 today. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Ball 4. Yankees had base runners in 8 of the 9 innings so far. Frank Fernandez, he's 1 for 4 today. He's another young player that the Yankees are pretty high on. I think they seem like they might be losing confidence in Jake Gibbs. And they got that kid, Thurman Munson. He came up for a few days when Jake Gibbs was on National Guard duty. He got into a game. And that kid Munson, they are really high on him. He's regarded as one of the best minor league players right now. Not as much hype as Johnny Bench was getting when he played in Buffalo, but not too far from it, though. Ball outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. 2 outs. Here's a changeup. Ball 2. 2 balls, 1 strike. Strike 2 called. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Ball 3 inside. Full count, 2 outs. Bobby Mercer on first. The payoff pitch, ball 4. Jimmy Hall be coming in a pinch run. There's a 4th walk of the game. Given up by Baltimore. No, the 6th walk of the game given up by Baltimore pitching. They've struck out 4. Harden and Watt have both had control issues today. Tom Tresh, he's 1 for 4 on the day. Runners on first and second, 2 outs, top of the ninth. Yankees lead 1-0. Strike one. Tresh looked at it, but it hit the corner. Ball one high. It's a wild pitch. That gets all the way back to the screen. Yankee runners advance. Mercer's on third. Hall's on first. They're going to get Mike Adamson up to warm up. Another rookie. Two balls, one strike, 2 outs. Runners on second and third. Strike two at the knees. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Three called. Watt pitches himself out of a jam. Yankees had no runs, no hits, no errors. They left 2. We go to the bottom of the ninth. New York 1, Baltimore nothing. Remains in the game, and he's facing the top of the Oriole batting order, Buford, Belanger, and Powell, with Frank Robinson following them. So one pitch, grounds at the first. Pepitone up with it, tosses to Stottlemyre, 1 out. Coming in to catch for New York is Jake Gibbs. Here's Belanger, 0 for 3. He has a 19-game hitting streak riding now. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Fouls it back. Strike two. The 0-2 pitch, curveball. Grounds at the short. Tresh up with it. First, 2 outs. Baltimore's down to its last out. And Boog Powell's up. Boog's 1 for 3 today. He singled in the first. One of Baltimore's 2 hits. Powell and Rhett have Baltimore's 2 hits. Powell's a guy, though. One swing in the back could tie this game up. It's a 1-1 pitch. It's a grounder to second. Clark up with it. To first. Low throw. Pepitone. Couldn't control it. It's New York's first error of the game. Powell's on first, makes it to second, and they're going to bring in Kurt Motton, the pinch run. Motton on second, 2 outs. Frank Robinson at the plate. Robinson's 0 for 2. He grounded to third, walked, and grounded to short. Here's the first pitch. Ball one. Check the swing. Gabe Screed did not neglect to say that he could win this game with a home run. Here's the 1-0 pitch. It's a fly ball to center. Robinson's going back. He's got it. And that's the game. New York takes the win, 1-0. New York wins their second in a row. They finish up the game, 1 run, 8 hits, 1 error. Baltimore had no runs, 2 hits, 1 error. New York left 13 men on base. Baltimore left 4. The Baltimore pitchers, Cuellar, Harden, and Watt, were pitching out of a lot of jams. New York got runners on in every inning except the 6th. A nice pitcher's duel between Stottlemyre and Cuellar. Stottlemyre goes the distance. Gets his first win. He's 1-3. Pitched 90, gave up 2 hits, walked 1, struck out 1. Cuellar's tagged with the loss, but pitched 6 2/3 innings. He might have gone the distance himself if it wasn't for the rain delay. Didn't have good stuff today, but gave up 8 hits, but only 1 run. It was earned. He walked 3, struck out 2. Jim Harden pitched 1 1/3 innings. He walked 1. He struck out 2. Watt pitched 1 inning. He walked 2, struck out 1. It's Baltimore, after going 18-0, have now lost 2 games in a row. Time of the game was 2 hours and 41 minutes. We had a 54 rain delay in the 7th. And that's all for the game of the week. This week, I hope you enjoyed it. It was a good game today. It was an excellent game. And thank you for watching.